Question is there an off season? Obviously, if we're talking about the Pro Tour, there's a span where there's no regularly scheduled tournaments. We're coming up on the time where they're starting to get up and play again.
Yay!
Casually, courses are never really closed. You can go in a foot of snow and go play. And even competitively, local tournaments, they pretty much happen all year round. So what are you guys' thoughts on, is there an off season, either casually, lower level competitively, or, the pros?
Definitely where we live, regionally, there's an off season. I mean, if you live in the South, good for you, because you've got some nice golf weather now that's like maybe, a long sleeve shirt. You can go out there and feel comfortable. Personally, I don't want to play in the snow. I don't want to play in the ice. I don't think it's worth it. Injury. What are you gaining? Like, I guess you can work on a lot of standstill shots, but like, what do you gain in your game? And I think playing competitively in the winter is difficult too. Like, what sort of ratings are out there? Like, for you, like, are you really going to perform to your potential?
No.
And I think you always have to consider that when registering for an event, of course. But I mean, especially in the winter, like, is your body comfortable at this temperature? Do you have the full range of motion in the amount of layers you're wearing? Like, sure, I will play Glow every week at my club because I love it. And I love the community, and that's casual and fun. There's not a full course. There are shorter shots, and it's just for fun. But would I play a tournament or play larger courses right now? No. Will I focus on putting practice? Will I focus on other things? Sure. Because that's training, and like you need to do that.
So I think maybe it comes down to like your goals. Are you trying to play in competitive events and win during the off season? Maybe, probably not, because maybe there's less tournaments and, like you said, risk of injury, things like that. But maybe if your goal is just to play and get out there and have fun, like you said, a shorter course, things like that. We're just throwing a disc around. Maybe where more people do in the off season.
Especially, like, if there's ice on the ground, no, you won't see me. But if it's, like, a really nice, mild day, we've had a lot of them, honestly. Like, this off-season has been very mild. So, get that sunlight. I mean, take advantage of nice days when you can.
My first event this year was a club thing, and I did not play well, and it was terrible out there. I had triple layers of what I have on now. And it was terrible. It was windy and it was cold. I think I shot par. And there was just no will to figure out how to do better for the day. It was just terribly cold.
I was ready for you to say there's no will to live. And I thought, that's too much.
That would be too much.
Looking for the round to be over.
You're so right. You're out there. What are you doing?
Will for that lunchtime,
what is there to learn? Like, it doesn't feel like, okay, I'm going to go out there today. It's 5 degrees. The real feel is, -10, and the wind's 20 miles coming in from the north. I'm going to practice my headwind putts today in my new robe and whatever you own. Because, like, it's just not going to apply when you go out there in a T-shirt and sunglasses and shorts.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just not. It's not. It's completely different. It's not fun. I think I shot, like, 50 points under my rating or something like that.
Yeah. I was going to say something that's important, too, is balance. And I think the rest of, I mentioned mental game before, but I think it really has to do with the off season too. I think everyone needs an unplug moment. And I don't mean don't watch coverage online or don't still love disc golf. Obviously, yes, keep the passion, keep the love. But take a step back, let yourself relax. You had a long season. You got out there, you played a lot of events, maybe. I don't know. I think I played like 22 events last season and 2 leagues. Like, I was playing a lot of competitive stuff, a lot of competitive golf, and it's been great to just take a pause and relax recharge, know your skills, and know that they're going to come back. Because when that weather comes back, ooh, baby, I'm going to be out there throwing every day. Like, okay, that doesn't leave you, but taking that moment is needed.
And
perspective.
Touring professional circuit, if you want to call it, just the flow of the way the tour moves around the country. You have majors strung in there and national events and all these things. It's so many moving parts that it all kind of needs a break for it to be sustained. It can't be forever and ever and ever. Even if they just stuck down south and just continued the PDGA tour, it would be too much. Everybody would want to take a break at some point anyway. The holidays roll in. You know, we all kind of are just used to getting together that time of year and settling down. And
Yeah. You don't want people running on fumes.
No.
Like your tournament directors, your support staff, your players. That's not good.
One of the biggest things that stick out to me this year, I took a break to not play as much, like in this off season, and just really relax. I wanted to focus on dieting and exercise, which has been huge, and it's been going on for almost 2.5 months now. And I have 2 more weeks of what I'm doing for exercise, and then I'm going to transition into working hard at putting again, and throwing practice, and doing drills, and doing practice on courses and stuff. I can't wait for it to warm up eventually, but to be practicing all winter and to try to stay hungry all winter is impossible. And I echo that from something that Kevin Jones recently said.
Yes.
Right? And,
Yes,
and,
I saw
and
that
I'm like, you're absolutely right. I want to work on my fitness, and I want to prepare for my body for the next year. And then I'm going to work on my, warm-ups and get my skills honed in. I have new putters to work with, so that's great. And then go into the season. So having that time off to not try to stay hungry, you don't run on fumes when it's time to actually get going. Right. You want to be ready to go. Like the first day of school, you put on all your new clothes. I'll put on my new sponsorship shirt. And
Right.
I want to hit the course and my new disc golf shoes for the year. And
Yeah, absolutely.
It's we love it. We love the start of disc golf. It's great. It's a long season, thankfully, too.
Yeah.
So,
we talked about this a lot too, fitness, and currently I'm doing the Disc Golf Strong Performance Academy.
Good.
And so that's been really, really awesome to
that?
work through. I'm really enjoying it. Truly. I love it. There's different weeks have different topics, and so Seth makes different modules that you watch, and there's a live that you can tune into with different pros he interviews. So there's that component, and of course the exercise component.
They just did one with Ricky, right?
Yeah, that was the first week of the program. Maybe the second week.
Okay. I just seen
can't
a post
remember.
about it.
But yeah, and so all these different, you guys have probably seen his warm-up videos on how to properly warm up for a round, and it's great to just get more in depth about, shoulder, back mobility, hip mobility, strength, core strength, what all that does. Rucking, I'd never heard of. It's like long walks with a weighted backpack.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what we do. Interesting, But doing that is so important, and I know that we had called around together, and we were talking about that we were working out, and that the timing was off. And I think that's a really interesting thing too. If you're going to make physical gains, just kidding.
Yeah, right.
But really, if you're going to change, I don't know, your muscular distribution in your body, I guess, like in an off season, let that happen and then figure out your timing. I think if you're trying to play and figure out that timing while you're still in flux, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, figure out both at the same time.
I smile on the surface every time I bogey.
You're like, I'm too strong for my own good.
I don't know what these arms do. They're too big. I don't know what to do.
But it's a great time to prioritize things for your game and not necessarily the execution of your game.
Right. There's a lot of planning that goes into these tours.
Yeah.
And traveling the country. The players that are into it, they do it front to back. It's a long book.
Yeah, sure is. 9-10 months out of the year.
You're gonna need a month of planning at least.
Yeah.
Let alone taking a break. So
Right.
not much of an off season there.
Yeah.
No. That's so funny. Is there an off season? We said yes, and then we said all these things that we're doing. That's in
We're
the
so
off
wishy-washy.
season.
Yeah.
This is the wishy-washy segment.
But it's important. I mean, I think that's a lot of stuff that you don't see on the surface. I mean, look, as a performer, we say, okay, what you see on stage is like, what, 10% of the whole process? I mean, you have preparation, you have practice, you have techniquing, you have that rehearsal time. It's the same in sports. It's the exact same. Like what you see on coverage, when you see those 60-footers go in and you think, oh my God. Okay, you know how many hours went into that?
Yeah.
Like practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So you have to get that foundation and build from there to make that amazing permanent game that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree with everything you said for the off season, but in terms of bad weather, we were just outside doing a putting challenge in a blizzard, so that contradicts everything you said.
Oh boy.
If you didn't see it, go check that one out.
Well, good for you. You
I'm
won't
gonna-
catch me outside, but in the blizzard.
Listen,
I don't mind playing in the snow. Obviously, I'm not as competitive as you guys. I
Making
just
snow
play
angels, yeah.
fun, whatever rounds. But yeah, so
he
we do
loves
it.
seeing the disc fly into the basket. I do too.
Just explode the snow.
I think I
off the
played.
chains.
I think I just play with like less expectation to just like have like a hot round today. It's just
Yeah.
like it's a lighter round, and to be honest with you, my rounds that I'm playing during tournament, I really find that the best rounds that I've played have been ones that I'm able to emulate from my casual rounds. I like to be lighthearted and not be so focused on the dramatics of doing well or not, and the performance just does for itself. It usually does better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, when you're more relaxed, and
Yeah.
just not thinking so much about your own game.
right.
It makes sense.
So for me right now, while exercise and off season, whether you like it or not, it makes for more lighthearted, just having fun golf.
yeah. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see another clip of the HyzerCast podcast, click this video right here. If you'd like to see a video from our main channel, Hyzer Media, click this video right here. And if you haven't done so already, click this link right in the middle to subscribe to our channel or the red button down below. Thanks.